Number 1. Stomach growls. Complete silence. The room is calm. Then suddenly, your stomach just made the sound of a dying sea monster trapped inside a pipe. And the worst part is that now everyone is looking at you like your intestines are trying to contact the dead. And contrary to the myth, it's not always hunger. Your intestines are basically a giant automatic transport system. All day long, muscles push air, liquids, and food through soft biological tunnels. The problem is that these movements also push around gas bubbles. Result, your stomach turns digestion into an experimental concert. When the stomach is empty, the sound can become even louder because there's more space for the movement to echo. In other words, your body is using its own internal sound system. That's why a tiny stomach growl can sometimes sound like an old diesel engine starting inside your abdomen. And this is where things get interesting. That's probably not even the most embarrassing sound your body makes. Number 2. Farts. The true social ninja of the human body. You're sitting somewhere. Everything seems normal. Then your brain receives an extremely stressful notification. Something just came out silently. But nobody knows yet if the air is innocent or criminal. The trap is that the sound of a fart mostly depends on how fast the gas escapes and the tension of the muscles around it. Usually loud farts sound like this. Burp, burp. Meanwhile, less vibration means less noise, and that's when your farts become silent. Pft, pft. But the smell mainly comes from sulfur compounds produced by certain gut bacteria. If you want to fully understand this ancient biological phenomenon, I actually made an entire video about it. You can watch it after this one. So basically, your body can launch a completely silent chemical attack. Number 3. Cracking joints. You move your neck, crack. Your fingers, crack. Your back, crack. For a long time, people believed cracking your knuckles automatically destroyed your joints. But the sound often comes from tiny gas bubbles moving or bursting inside the joint fluid. Basically, your knuckles sometimes behave like miniature soda cans. Cracking without pain is usually harmless. But if the sound comes with swelling, locking, or real pain, then your body might be trying to send a slightly less funny message. Number 4. Hiccups. The famous hic. Hiccups are probably one of the weirdest bugs in the human system. A muscle called the diaphragm suddenly contracts without warning. Right after that, your vocal cords snap shut. Result, hic. The strangest part is that the brain sometimes triggers this reflex for almost no reason at all. Eating too fast, swallowing air, soda, stress, or sudden temperature changes. It's like your respiratory system received a fake emergency email. But sometimes the body gets even weirder. Number 5. Snoring. Also known as the chainsaw solo. You've had a long, exhausting day. You finally lie down to rest. Then suddenly, some people snore softly. Others sound like a bear trying to start a motorcycle inside the bedroom. Here's what's really happening. When you sleep, the muscles in your throat relax. Air then moves through a narrower space and makes the soft tissues vibrate. The tighter the passage, the more aggressive the concert becomes. But here's the worrying detail. Some snoring can hide breathing pauses called sleep apnea. And we'll come back to that one day because that problem mixes sleep, the brain, and oxygen in a pretty strange way. Number 6. Ears popping. You're in an elevator, on a plane, or high in the mountains. Then suddenly, pop. Inside your ears, there's a small system designed to balance pressure. When outside pressure changes too quickly, this area suddenly opens to rebalance the air. In other words, your head has its own pressurized plumbing system, and once again, air is the real troublemaker. Even your teeth can join the chaos. Number 7. Teeth chattering. Some people grind or chatter their teeth in their sleep without even knowing it. Stress, anxiety, bad alignment, or muscle tension can force the jaw to keep working all night, like it secretly has a second job. Result, your mouth turns into a tiny industrial machine while you peacefully sleep. In fact, this phenomenon is much more noticeable when you shiver from the cold because the muscles contract rapidly to generate heat. And somehow, that's still not the weirdest sound. Number 8. Whistling nose. You're breathing normally, then suddenly, phee. A tiny narrow air passage inside the nose can create the exact same effect as a whistle. dryness, mucus, inflammation, or simply the shape of your nasal passage. Sometimes it takes almost nothing. The problem is that this sound usually appears during the quietest moments possible. Library, meeting, movie theater, absolute awkward silence. And suddenly your nose decides to become a kettle. Now let's return to the strangest detail on this list. Your body produces so many of these sounds because it constantly works under pressure. Gas, air, liquids, everything moves through soft biological tunnels that never stop working. The problem is that sometimes all this internal maintenance becomes audible. And honestly, that's probably a good thing, because a completely silent body would probably be much more terrifying. Now go eat something, because from here I can hear your stomach screaming for help. But before that, subscribe. It's free. And if you enjoyed this video, you'll love the next one, because you're going to discover everything your body secretly does while you sleep. Promise.